struggling as a new mum, please watch this. So today's video is a little different from my usual content here on this channel. I know we normally chat about raising multilingual children, but I recently witnessed a moment that made me deeply reflect on my motherhood journey. I felt compelled to share my story and insights, especially for any new moms out there feeling overwhelmed, sad, fed up. If this video helps even one of you, it will be worth it. So let's rewind to autumn 2018, almost 6 years ago. My daughter was about 6 months old at the time, and my son was just over 2. At the time, I was mostly a full-time mum, doing the odd freelance job every now and then. Our days revolved around playdates and our local children's centre, which was like a second home to us. So on this autumn morning, after a 2-hour stay and play session, I was packing up my things, getting ready to take the kids home. My son, who was really going through the terrible twos, decided to throw the tantrum of the century. No jokes. He threw himself to the floor, screaming his head off, his face turning purple from crying. The panic inside me started building up, like, oh my God, this is so freaking embarrassing. Crap, what am I gonna do? Then, of course, to add insult to injury, my baby daughter started bawling. It was like the two of them were having a screaming competition, right? No jokes. By this point, everyone in the children's center was looking at us, maybe waiting for me to do something, say something, control the kids. And I just broke down. I burst into tears. My knees fell to the floor. I felt such a mix of emotions that totally, completely overwhelmed me. I felt ashamed, enraged, hopeless, just totally messed up. And the thing is, it wasn't just that day that I felt this way. There were so many other moments when it all felt like just too much. So 6 months before this incident, right after my daughter was born, there was a day when I experienced a feeling of, just feeling really, really, really low. It was late afternoon. I was in my bedroom. The sun was already setting. I was trying desperately to breastfeed my baby girl, who was just refusing to feed. I felt like I had been sitting there forever. I felt like this malfunctioning human milk machine, a failure. My toddler was in the living room screaming, throwing toys around, making a mess. And I remember distinctly thinking, in this moment, is this what my life has come to? My heart felt so heavy, like it was just being weighed down by a black curtain. Sorry, I can't think of a better analogy. Looking back, I think I might have had a mild case of maybe postnatal depression. But at the time, it just felt like life really sucked, despite having my 2 beautiful children who were our miracles. And that's the super ironic thing, right? Like, we really wanted to be parents. It's not like we started a family by accident. We really struggled to have our first child, but got lucky with our second baby. So we were really super grateful to have the privilege of experiencing the joy of parenthood. But it's just that the reality was so different from what I expected. While I love my children to bits, I would jump in front of a bus, a tiger, whatever, for them, of course. But I had no idea how all-consuming being a mum would be, how challenging, yet bloody monotonous each day would be. If you're a mum, you know how it is. Baby wakes up, you wake up, you change nappy, you feed baby, burp the baby. Yeah, I had no idea that burping baby was a thing. And the baby does another poop, you change the nappy again, baby cries. Like, what do? Do you feed them, change the nappy again? Why the heck are they crying? You don't have a clue. Babies don't come with manuals. There's nowhere to return them. Like crap, like what do? Okay, it's time to put them down for a nap again, and then the whole cycle repeats. And that's when you only have one child. When you have a baby and a toddler, well, that's when meltdown like the one I described at the beginning of this video can happen, like easily. But more than these dramatic moments, it's the day in, day out grind that can really wear you down. I vividly remember being at a play session at the same children's center where I had that total meltdown. Like all the mums were singing Zoom, Zoom, Zoom to the moon. I don't know if you know that song. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. So it felt like we were saying this for like the gazillionth time. It was supposed to be a happy moment. When you get to Zoom, you're meant to lift your baby up high so they can go to the moon. And all babies love it. They really do. But I remember thinking on this particular day that I cannot sing this song for even one more time ever in my life. But now I want to tell you how I survived all this. I want to start with what saved me during the meltdown incident I described earlier. In that moment of breakdown at the children's center, all the women rallied around me. The staff and even the other mums there, they came over to comfort me. They didn't judge me. They didn't make me feel like I had failed. They told me I was strong, that they reminded me that I wasn't alone. The staff took me to the staff room and brought me a cup of tea, while the other mums kept an eye on the children, trying to calm them down, distract them. The kind words of one of the women there really stayed with me. She said something along the lines of, "Hey, you're a beautiful young mummy with 2 beautiful children. You know, life's good. Don't worry, you'll be okay." And I remember thinking, wow, I don't feel beautiful. Life doesn't feel so good right now, but I'm so grateful for the kindness and support everyone showed me. Maybe everything will be okay after all. So it was these women's support and kindness that saved me in that moment. It made me realize that I didn't have to struggle alone. That people, moms, women, people from the community, we can really support each other and lift each other up. Later, when I had time to reflect, I realized something else. Something that had been saving me all along, even when I didn't know it at the time. So now let me tell you about what I saw the other day that prompted me to make this video in the first place. It was a beautiful autumn day here in the UK. The sun was shining, casting a golden glow on the red and yellow foliage. I was walking down a tree-lined street in my area after lunch, taking in the beautiful autumn views, when I noticed 2 older ladies cooing over a baby and a toddler. The baby was in a pram, a big smile on his chubby face. It looked so cute, so angelic. The toddler was walking behind the pram, holding mummy's hand. The mum was just beaming with happiness and pride. I couldn't help but smile at this beautiful scene in front of me. But then it hit me. When was the last time someone, cooed over my children? When they were little, people would often come over to fuss over them and comment on how cute and sweet they were. And I was just like this mum, probably exhausted, but so proud of her beautiful children. My kids are, still young, they're 6 and 8, but the cute phase of their lives, along with my life as a new mum, is kind of over. I mean, of course, to me, they're still adorable. My daughter especially, who is 6, still retains that childish cuteness, but my son is already entering that pre-teen phase. Our life looks so different now. The rhythm and texture of everyday life feels so different now compared to that day at the children's center 6 years ago. Anyway, so witnessing this scene made me realize that nothing is permanent. The good moments passed so fast, but then so do the hard ones. It's such a bittersweet realization for me. While I'm relieved that life feels a bit easier now compared to 5-6 years ago, now that my children are in full-time education and I've got my career back on track, sort of, those early days of their childhood and my life as a new mum are gone forever and will only live in our memory. So the message I want to get across to new mums out there is this: I feel your struggle. It's not easy. It can be really, really hard. I want you to know that you really aren't alone. So please go and seek out support from other people, other moms, and also give support to others, reach out to other moms. They might be struggling too. I also want us to remember that motherhood is made up of phases. You live life moment to moment, but when you look back, you see that everything comes and goes and there's a time for everything. I'm sure I'll look back to the present moment in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and think of this as another phase in our life that's full of its challenges, but also beautiful moments. Maybe, I really think that we'll look back at these years as the best time of our lives when our children are still young, we are still young and healthy. We've still got our parents with us, our dear cat Millie with us. Every day I try to remind myself not to take these things for granted. Sorry if I'm rambling a bit, but basically what I want to say is this. I want to reassure you that the tough times you're experiencing now as a new mom right now will pass. But so will the beautiful moments you have with your precious baby. The sleepless nights, the nappy changing, the first smile, first steps, first everything. And these will also pass and only live on in your memory and, photographs. So I'm getting a bit emotional here. So let's all remind ourselves to cherish every moment of our rich and beautiful lives. Sorry if it sounds corny, but it is so true. I really hope that my experience and insights will help some of you out there who are struggling right now. You are not alone and you'll be okay. Share your own stories of struggle or phases that have passed in the comments below. I think it will really help other parents out there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's not my usual type of content, but anyways, I hope it has maybe helped some of you. Take care, have a wonderful Christmas. You see I've got my Christmas outfit on, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!